For the Climate Discussion Nexus, I'm John Robson, and this is another pandemic quarantine homebrewed readout from our May 6th Wednesday Wake Up newsletter. And I want to comment on a couple of items in particular here. The first of them is this ongoing and very ugly battle over Michael Moore's Planet of the Humans, in which his critics are accusing him of being a sellout to capitalism, and he's accusing them of being sellouts to capitalism. It's a nasty tone to be taking, although, to be honest, Michael Moore has never been noted for going on the high road. Nevertheless, wouldn't it be nice if instead of arguing personalities, we could talk about issues when it comes to climate? And curiously, there's another major failure to do that we talk about in the newsletter. As you may remember, President Emmanuel Macron in France was in considerable trouble because of these gilets jaunes, these yellow vest protests against rising energy prices and a variety of other issues. It wasn't always clear what exactly tied them all together. But a good deal of it was opposition to his environmental agenda. So he decided, well, the heck with representative democracy, let's have a citizen assembly. We'll pick 150 people at random and they'll decide what to do, and then they'll decide to do what I want, but I won't get the blame, or something like that. So sure enough, they picked people at random, very careful about the demographics, and then they got experts to help them learn about the issue. And you'll never guess who the experts were. Right, the usual climate alarmists. So now, of course, this representative assembly has come up with some very drastic policies, basically banning all existing cars, stuff like that, telling people, you don't need that, don't go to the store. And so Macron hasn't got himself out of trouble, because if he implements these policies, he's still on the hook for it. Now, if he doesn't implement them, people will say, well, that was all just a cynical ploy. And it's further discredited the notion that representative institutions are the right place to debate issues and find proposals, implement policy, and then check it afterward and see if we think it's working. Again, we need to get focused on the issues and stop it with the personalities, the dodges, the evasions, and the backdoor tricks. Either climate change caused by humans is an existential crisis and we need a drastic policy response, and we should step up and say so and take responsibility for having done it, or we should say, you know what, this so-called settled science is not so settled. We need to handle this like adults. There's a lot more in the newsletter, of course, and we also invite you to look at our videos. You can find them on our website, that's climatediscussionnexus.com, or on YouTube at ClimateDN. And among the other things that you'll find in the newsletter is, of course, another edition of our 1919 or 2019 quiz. And it's interesting, when people try to figure out, we take the temperatures every day for a year from last year, climate emergency, and from 100 years before that, when supposedly things were cool and comfortable and nobody was panicking over the fact that it was getting warmer, coming out of the Little Ice Age, but we don't put the years on them. And sometimes people will try and figure out which line is which by saying, okay, well, supposedly temperature's risen, so let's see which one's higher. Or they'll say, supposedly weather's gotten more extreme, so we'll look for lines that are jumping around more. And this time, and it's the first time in the series, we found a place where there does seem to be a significant difference. So we invite you to look at the lines, use either method or both, and tell us which one of these is Atlin, BC. Yeah, it was big in the gold rush, not so much now. So which one is Atlin in 1919? Which one is Atlin in 2019? And as always, if you find our work worthwhile, we understand people are feeling a lot of uncertainty about the future, the economy, how we get out of this lockdown. But if you want the Climate Discussion Nexus to keep pushing back against bad policy at a time when we really can't afford it, go to our donate page and make a small pledge. $2, $5, $8. It makes a huge difference at our end. For the Climate Discussion Nexus, I'm John Robson.